I'm still not over that triple lunar flare.
No, me neither. No, that was
so good.
I really like that. And then it seems like they're pretty comfortable with letting the Abathur through. I think a lot of teams prioritize that Abathur very highly, and I just don't think that Reborn really cares for what teams can do with it, or at least maybe they're just not worried about it with that other team. And maybe as we progress through the bracket, that will be something that they have to consider. But overall, we are going to be getting into this draft, Catpeach, and do we get a Melbet-Ganis? Do we get someone that can feed?
I mean, we didn't see it banned or picked up in the last match, so I don't think we'll necessarily see the Dreadlord. Just kidding. First ban coming out from Ball Breaker Reborn.
He shall not feed.
And I shall bite my tongue. Medivh still being banned out, though, from Reborn.
So it's not, I don't think it was what I was thinking at all in the last game, where they're just afraid of the going into the backline of the friendly team and just blowing them up through that way. I think it's a little bit more of, scouting, rotations, as well as the setup that Medivh has and the portaling. I mean, while not being able to backline into enemies, portaling also is a great way to disengage from any sort of bad fights. If you do get a triple stun and they're not burned out right away, protection status, throw them in a portal, they're good to go. And that's definitely something that nullifies a lot of team fights, and I think it's a great ban. But Reborn here is going to come out with maybe another Maiev ban at this, or no. Yeah, no, it was Maiev ban, I think, for them last time as well. But we get into this and...
banned out, but still banning her out.
You're right. It was... Everyone's all flipped around, so I'm doing it backwards. And the Pitman 45, sorry to cut you off, but the Pitman 45, thank you so much for the 150 bits. Thank you for supporting the channel.
All right, so we get the Blaze pickup #1 for Ball Breaker, not being banned out this time, and immediately the Tehran to Garrosh. So what I was going to mention about that Medivh is you mentioned the Protect, and the protection really takes the wind out of the taunt Lunar Flare stun combo, and so I like the consistency there. Reborn obviously knows what this draft is all about, and so removing the tools to remove that stun capability from anyone they hit. But the Kerrigan Tassadar, Bahamut Kerrigan and Tassadar.
I really
old school
like
dive. I like it.
This is, and I think this is actually, I wouldn't say stumping Reborn, but I think they're sitting here for a hot second. Like, are they gonna Tracer? What are they gonna do here? Because typically in the past, Tassadar was always paired with Tracer, and that's a lot of kill potential, and Tracer has that kind of nimbleness and annoyance to get around. But I think that they're leaning the way of saying, all right, that Tassadar kind of shows their hand in a sense. They're not gonna single support with the Tassadar, which it's plausible. Like, Kerrigan has some sustain, so does Blaze, so does Tassadar. If they go an all sustained comp, maybe that's just what they're interested in. But we do see the Malthael being banned out, so I think they know, at least they watched that last game, and that was the one thing that they were not excited about. But Catpeach, we got 2 more picks coming out from Reborn.
Yeah, 2 more picks. The Malthael's out. I still like the Thrall. We saw a lot of good follow-up, not just on kills, but with that Sundering to really divide the Decker Pains in that last match, being able to isolate a kill target for Reborn. So maybe we see that again, and paired with the Arthas, so even more routes to go with those stuns. Reborn is all about that crowd control. We see the Stukov coming out for Ball Breaker Reborn. Is Blaze the main frontline here with a little bit of that Tassadar shielding support?
They either need a bigger frontline, or they're going to need to go into something for their solo lane, and that's going to either be an Arthas or a Thrall. They could kind of flex on that.
I stand
ready. Okay, it's the solo tank Blaze. What's your solo lane? Because is your 4 rotation Kerrigan, Tassadar? Oh no, maybe they're just going for an unstandard map play.
Kerrigan tank? Are we saying the return of
Kerrigan tank? Kerrigan tank. That's what it is, everybody. Captain figured out new meta.
I mean, yeah, that's very interesting because like the Tassadar Stukov Kerrigan makes sense, redemption. Or the Vala, but leaving Kerrigan or Vala on their own in a lane is not necessarily the best idea. So maybe it's more of a 2-2-1 here. You have Blaze in the off lane, and you have Tassadar following Vala. You have Stukov with Kerrigan to help set up for her CC into the Lurking Arm. We're gonna have to see. I'm a little bit confused. The Hansa coming out for Miss yet again. Getting that geometry on here. This is math class now.
I feel like I have like Stark's voice in the back of my head, and he's just like, this is just a collection of heroes. And like not to dog their draft or anything, because they've probably got a plan in place here. But the way that I look at this, it's just, I don't see the synergy. Like Kerrigan on this map, cool. Vala, Tassadar, cool, but like I don't know how we're all meshing this. And now we have a Blaze that's not a solo lane. I think it's gonna be a main tank. I don't know. Main tank Tassadar. Maybe it's
Take the notes, throw them out the window.
Yeah, we don't know. Everything's just out the windows for this game. But no, I really think this is going to be an awesome matchup between these two teams, and I'm super pumped about this. Catpeach, and we're currently loading into the game, and we'll find out in just a minute who is the best at Infernal Shrines.
So here's my thing. I'm all for coming up with something a little out of the norm, a little bit out there, and running it. Against a team like Reborne, Ball Breaker has to feel very confident in this, because Reborne, in game one, very strong. Typically a very strong team as well, coming in third place for the open division. So they're a strong team. They have great synergy. They have that history, and so you don't just draft something because you feel like it against Reborne and expect to win. You have to have a plan. So maybe Ball Breaker Reborn gonna show us that they've been thinking about this, practicing this for a little bit, but I'm excited to see what they do with it, because if they pull it off, that's gonna be something. But Kerrigan still has to worry about the stuns. I feel like there's still a lot to worry about on their side.
I agree. I think both these teams need to worry a little bit here, but we're gonna go ahead and get into this match number 2 of the evening. I'm just like, all right, this is best of one series. And we are getting into our second map here, and it's going to be on the left-hand side. We're going to be having Ball Breaker Reborn with Nexus going to be on the Vala. We'll have Guy. Oh my God, I'm not sure. Gyron? I'll give it a shot on that one. On the Kerrigan, we'll have Kronos on the Tassadar. We'll have Mexicano on the Blaze, and Old Miracle on the Stukov.
And in the red, we do have Reborn. We are going to see Thrall, played by Winterheart. Pterodactyl is going to be on the Garrosh. Valimar on the Tyrande. Mist reprising the Hanzo. And Azariel on the Arcus.
We still have that. I'm looking at Garrosh's level 1 talent, because I'm just like, all right, are we still going for body check? And no, we're going to have the Groundbreaker at level 1. But that is going to be a immediate pause from one of the members here. It looks like maybe they might have some latency issues or something. We'll find out about that in a minute. But in the meantime, we'll keep you entertained with some wonderful anecdotes, I guess. No, I mean, but realistically, I mean, I think you put it really right, that looking at these two teams, and if you actually look into kind of the background of Reborn and what they kind of did in the open division versus what this other team is going to be bringing to the table, it's kind of like, all right, well, what's the synergy? And we currently have everyone in mid lane. I'm looking at level 1 talents. It's really nothing too out of the ordinary. We have that new habits from Blaze, which it popped up more and more after, I want to say, Western Clash, which it had like a huge pick rate, and everyone was like, why are they taking that? It's like, well, it's a self cleanse once you get like 15 regen globes. But it looks like we are going to be back into this game, and no one's splitting off just yet, and no deaths just yet, but everyone back in here ready to play. And Catpeach, nothing too exciting just yet. We're just going to be having the solo laners going off, and the rotation should begin, as looks like they might be getting down to this Kerrigan, and that is exactly it.
Yeah, and that is still the play for Reborn. Get the stun on that dive. Make sure you confirm the kill very quickly, which they should be able to do on that Kerrigan. Doesn't really have that escape potential once she's in, so Kerrigan going to have to play very carefully. Another flip from Tenny coming out onto Alexis. The Lunar Flare does miss, but the arrow from Hanzo getting a bit of damage. Vala going to make it out for now, but Reborn still just being able to have so much control with that control that they have with those abilities.
I'm just looking right now. Is Blaze doing rotation? I think they're just going to have to go into the lanes. I love the phase shift that's used by Kronos here to make sure that Pterodactyl doesn't get the flip, because Valimar could have turned right around, had the double stun off of that, and just continued to just fight them. But Mexicano and Azrael are just going to be sitting in top lane, playing that solo lane game. And a lot of people have said that Blaze is phased out of the solo lane and is a lot stronger of a tank. But Kronos, I don't know if they have the phase shift just yet. The body blocks are coming out, and that is another pick in favor for Reborn. 2-0, and an experience gap is starting to form between these two teams.
Yeah, I feel like with the threat of that Garrosh Tyrande constantly rotating, constantly finding those picks, but hold on, Winterheart getting picked himself, probably going to be the first kill for Ball Breaker Reborn in this game, doing something that the last opponent of Reborn could not do, and that's take down a member. So congratulations to them. They've already 100% killed more members of Reborn than Decker Page. Giant RT going in, not being able to get anything yet. As I was saying before though, Tentadactyl and Bahamut constantly rotating, constantly helping to kind of confirm those picks. So I feel like Ball Breaker Reborn, they can't have anyone out in a lane by themselves, or else that is just going to spell doom for them, especially even that Tassadar. So unless it's really keeping that phase shift available to get out of those situations, it's a big risk no matter who you are. So it's something that they're going to have to watch out for in this game.
Those individual picks is really where Reborn excels, and we saw that in the first game, and that's the case in this one. But maybe the members of Ball Breaker Reborn had that opportunity to watch the first game and maybe do a little bit of studying and reconnaissance, and so they know exactly what, not exactly, but they know what the game plan is, at least also with their draft as well. But we do have the first Punisher activating at this time. Tentadactyl stepping up with the team. There will be a nice Sonic Arrow to go in, but Tentadactyl's so low, the Indomitable was going to use the silence is there, and they are actually able to get out with 6. Nope, Volley gets 1 auto off, and that's going to be another kill going back over to the members of Ball Breaker, and they're going to hold pressure over this camp while there is going to be a hard camp in top lane and a soft camp in mid against Reborn. I think they're just gonna have to give this over, and this will be first Punisher for Ball Breaker.
Yeah, and that was such a good play from Ball Breaker to wait for Garrosh to walk in, use the lurking over to make sure he silence, can't get the stun, can't get the flip, and just focus all damage on him to make sure he's out of the picture, because he's really the enabler for this composition on the side of Reborn. So without Garrosh on that front line to get those flips in for Balamar to follow up with that stun that, you know, we've been harping on so much, there's just nothing Reborn could really do. With the clear from Bala and from Tassadar and from Kerrigan, it's just easy sailing for Ball Breaker once you're on that shrine and have Garrosh out of the picture. So they're able to get the first shrine here, and they're going to confirm this game.
I looked like Kronos was maybe setting up for a flank onto them, and they were just like, maybe we don't take this fight too far, and they just get the gate. They keep the experience even. It's 2-2 in kills. Really no big gap forming anymore. They even that out, and Kronos is going to get slowed here for a second. Tentadactyl is going to get poked at as well. Meanwhile, though, stacks are going to continue. We are going to be having Winterheart finishing the Echo of the Elements at level 1 there, and we'll also have Hanzo working through that simple geometry. We have Arthas at 8 out of the 20 Frost Presence and 32 out of the 150 Frozen Waste. And Garrosh is at 9 out of the 15 Warbreaker. We're getting along quite well on a lot of these questing talents. Also, really quickly, Blaze is at 13 out of 15 for New Habits, and Tassadar is at 548 from the Cyan Fusion. We have a fight breaking out Catpeach, and I think it's going to go really south.
Alexis has a little bit of healing, gets the heals in, but Valo taking a lot of damage. Tentadactyl going really deep in, gets the flip onto Old Miracle, but is taking a lot of damage. The Indomitable is used, and Tenny is going to fall. Azariel caught in a rough spot after that kill. Arthas also falling, so that is 2 warriors for Reborn being taken out of this lane entirely by Ball Breaker Reborn.
I watched one little scatter arrow hit the Stukov. Like it double bounced off the walls and it hit him, and then he died. And I was like, oh, that poor Stukov. It's just like, that's the worst to go. There was a stray scatter arrow that got you. Oof, big yikes. But we do have these a little bit of an advancement coming out from Ball Breaker Reborn, and they're starting to get a little momentum behind them. And a lot of these teams really thrive off that momentum. Once you get going, it's kind of hard to kind of be interrupted at that point, because they have a very, very kill-heavy team, or they have a high skill kill potential. I think that's the right way to say it. Overall, if they could, just like how there are the picks coming out from Tentadactyl and Valimar, it's the same thing with this Kerrigan, as well as the Vala for the extra damage. And then we have Stukov to just throw out a silence arm and maybe get 1 auto, which does 1,000 per hit. But it's 10-10 just about for these teams, and we'll see if there's anything interesting coming out from these heroics.
Yeah, the kill potential really lies in that silence from Lurking Arm, I feel, with the Stukov, because without that, you know, Garrosh continues to go, takes the damage, gets the armor, gets the flip still. So that part of that equation is so crucial for Ball Breaker Reborn that if for some reason they can get Stukov out of that, possibly with the Sundering, we're going to see the Earthquake this time instead from the Thrall. Winterheart taking a lot of damage. The Dragon Air goes out, and misses. Thrall going to fall here. Giant RT, though, going to get the trade. Flame Slave out from Old Miracle to zone for the team. Penny Dactyl, though, going in onto Alexis, trying to see if the flip is there, and it connects. Balla, though, going into the bunker, gets away while Penny gets blocked off by this wall from Tassadar. The tree is on from both teams now that the altar is about to activate.
I saw the friendly into the fray onto Winterheart from Tentadactyl, and I was like, nice, all right, cool, they saved their Thrall. Oh, actually, hold on, the Unstoppable is going to be used onto Mexicano. They get the dive onto Ezreal. There's a lot of damage coming up, but they're chasing this. The toss goes out on Mexicano, separating them from the team. That is going to be the Blaze getting picked off. And then we have Old Miracle and team. They need to find an entry. It's 4v5-ish. I mean, they're kind of low, so if they could find maybe one pick, like Tenny's a little bit low. I wonder if they're going to be able to get the stun. That's going to be the follow-up. They're going to be looking for the kill, but they don't have it just yet. That is going to be the wall put up as well to make sure that they don't advance any further. That is going to be Tenny looking for the toss. The taunt goes out as well, and it might be a dead Kerrigan, and that is going to be it, Catpeach.
That is it. It is now a 5v3 on this in favor of Reborne. It was pretty even for a while, and even in terms of Skeletal Vendor, still kind of eating. You see Kronos trying to deny a little bit of that count to Reborne, but not able to pull it off long enough. So this Punisher, Arcane Punisher, by the way, going over to Reborne. Thrall going to go up into that top lane, start to push that wave a bit back, while the rest of the team focusing on mid, going to take out this gate for sure. Leap is baited, the phase coming out from Tassadar to avoid it. Beautifully done by Kronos.
This is going to be the Punisher baited over to the side. It's going to be doing some work here. They open up the gate, and I think that's really what they're about to get. Vala's going to have some decent burn onto this, and yeah, that's just going to be cleared out. They're going to lose a little bit onto their fort, but nothing too major here. 12-12 in levels, 5-6 in kills. This game is extremely close, Catpeach. They do have some bottom lane pressure that needs to be dealt with. Overall, between the two teams, this is structure advantage for the members of Ball Breaker Reborn. We'll see if they're able to use that advantage in any way, shape, or form, as they are going to be going onto the siege camp a little aggressive. That is going to be the taunt going out of the Tesla. There's no phase shift out, and that is a dead Rotos. Camp picked up, and now they rotate in the bottom, and I wonder if they can advance onto this quick enough and steal it away. They won't steal it, but maybe they take a good fight.
That was quite advantageous of a scout from Kronos there. Having, the vision is great, but after seeing the Garrosh still going forward, you don't have to be right next to Garrosh to get flipped, because first you get stunned, my friend. And so when that happens, it definitely spells disaster for whoever is in Garrosh's sight. So something to keep an eye out for if you are trying to scout, trying to figure out where Reborn is on this map. That I think Ball Breaker, they've done really well in certain cases of keeping an eye out for that. But things like that are what give Reborn a advantage. But Stukov gonna get picked off here.
Not going to be able to hit those 1,000 damage autos anymore if you're dead, and Kerrigan going to do Kerrigan things, clearing up mid lane with the friendly team. We do have another Punisher popping up in top lane fairly soon. Now, if the members of Ball Breaker Reborn can win this over, that'll be huge for them, because that'll put pressure onto top lane keep, and if they get top lane catapult pressure, that is exactly where you want to be on a map like this, because now you have consistent pressure winning over that top lane, and you can then just feed into that and then delay out the next objective, which is in mid or bottom, preferably bottom. Then you have this huge gap on the map, and once you see someone go up there, you go all in, you take a good fight, as it's going to be a 4v5, but we won't get too far ahead of ourselves as,
Kronos can get that fort. That is very
Kronos can get that fort in bottom. Yeah, that'll actually push them up quite a bit. They actually, they open that up in bottom. They see this, and they want to go for the fight. The Indomitables used as well. That's going to be the taunt coming out as well. The bunker is dropped on top of them. They need to burn this down. They want to take a fight. That is going to be the Rain of Vengeance on the Tentactyl. That will be Hanzo with a Dragon Arrow. There is also going to be Ezreal on the back line. That is going to pop the Armor the Undead, and they jump for the wall. Alexis seems to be the target in this situation. They're trying to chase this. The Force Walls there from Kronos. And Catpeach, I don't know if they're going to be able to get this kill. They're just going to run away from it.
Yeah, they run away. Kronos being able to zoop and zazz out of there. Azariel getting caught, though, by the Force Wall from Tassadar. Members of Ball Breaker Reborn now trying to maybe circle in, find the kill there, but the rest of Reborn surrounding them. This is a counter attack here coming in from Reborn. They get the blocks, they get the fire out to Old Miracle, trying to run away, but this Stukov looking like they might be out of the picture. The Lunar Flare misses. The shield is there as well. Stukov is going to survive. And Ball Breaker Reborn going back in. Tentadactyl looking really low, but has that 48 armor, going to walk away from the situation. Both teams just circling each other, trying to bite, but not getting any kills in that range.
Blood is in the water, but nobody is eating as we have just a counter to counter to counter to counter engagement back and forth. This will be the camp cleared out in top lane, but the top lane Punisher is activating. The other thing to note too, you called it out on minimap, Kronos on that Tassadar got the bottom lane forward. That pushed them up in a decent amount of experience. Now there is about a level gap forming here, and 16s will be achieved by the members of Reborne, but it's not here yet, and they really want to try and take a fight before that's achieved. Force Wall's going to be coming out. They're going to be looking for this for Ezreal right here. There's a big old combo coming out. Won't connect. Hanzo going to get the Dragon Arrow onto a couple. The bunker comes down in time. Ezreal falling so low here. The bunker is out. They have the friendly toss onto Ezreal. Mexicano so low, but Valimar is getting hit in the backline so much. A huge taunt onto so many of the members from Tentadactyl, and they're looking to get a kill, but they're so low on the side of Reborn. No one has fallen down yet. The double heals coming out from Stukov and Tassadar are just too much, but Kerrigan's the first one to go down. Now they start to chase this even more, Catpeach.
Yeah, the mana is so low on the side of Reborn, but they are up 2 people in this fight, and they are able to just stay alive. Arthas and Garrosh both getting those shields in, blocking a little bit of the damage coming out from Ball Breaker Reborn, able to survive that fight, turn it around, and the potential flank that was there onto Ezreal no longer in the picture. The force wall was great, the setup was great, but you've got an Arthas and you've got a Garrosh, and those are 2 targets that are not necessarily easy to take down, especially in such a big team fight like that.
That was such a long engagement and back and forth. I'm so surprised that I really am so surprised at how Reborn stayed alive throughout that. The double support coming out from Stukov and Tassadar, it almost seemed like every time they got low, it was like, oh nope, you got a shield. Oh nope, you've got the pustule on you. But they end up wearing them down to the point where I guess the cooldowns were too much, and that's really where they ended up getting the single pick, which kind of shifted the entire engagement. They said, all right, well, we can't fight this anymore. They leave it at 39 skeletal defenders. They'll go ahead and rotate into bottom, make sure they don't have any of that pressure, and then they can play top lane extremely slow. But they're currently sharking in the water, looking for that kill, and Ezreal might be that, Catpeach.
Yeah, the stun is there, but the Dragon Arrow coming from Miss, stunning the advance of Ball Breaker Reborn. The bunker is out for a bit of the escape, totally canceling out this attempt to take down Arthas. Great call from Miss, great stun. And Reborn, still in this game, trying to defend what remains of this mid-fort. Giant RT trying to get the combo in, but it misses. They should be able to get the last couple hits maybe on this fort, but Tentadactyl trying to zone. This camp is still poking damage here and there. Blaze clearing out the minions, converts the fort, and that is all forts down for Reborn. But they are up a level, so they are not out of this. But Tentadactyl looking really low, Bahamut.
They have the force wall out, and that's going to be a lot of damage going on to Ezreal. The Starfall's there as well. That's going to be the Earthquake coming out. Arthas will be the first one to go down in the situation. Winterheart seems to be getting chased a little bit here. Mist will jump over the wall. Force wall out once again. They lose 1 in the situation, and they still have 39 out of the 40 skeletal defenders. All they need is 1, and we already have a top lane that's pretty well stacked up. Oh my god. Oh, I thought they were going to catch them in the rotation. They scout this out. They could just take the long way around. But no, they get a nice Lunar Flare that will complete the quest as well. We currently have Winterheart they're trying to zone them into this corner, but it's not working out for them. And it looks like the Bruiser camp is in this limbo position. We currently have Arthas back in 15 seconds. They need to make a decision with this really, really quickly. Either fight or just take this camp and leave. And it seems like it's just going to be the take the camp and leave option.
Yeah, I mean, the longer Reborn was able to stall out the grab of that Bruiser camp, the better it is for them. Waiting for Arthas to respawn. This top wave has been able to get a lot of value pushing into this gate. And they still, again, they just need 1 skeletal defender. So they're able simply to just stall. Ball Breaker Reborn, on the other hand, it's a great win, but there's nothing too much to push with that camp. So they're definitely still at odds. And when it comes to this next Punisher coming down that top lane, this is the all-in defense. I feel like that if Reborn gets a really good fight, you get those stuns coming out from Tyrande, setting up for a lot of the damage for Miss as well, that this is going to go incredibly in their favor. Not to mention, they can quick Tassadar pick right before that even happens, so this is looking like rainbows and sunshine for Reborn.
Reborn has a really nice condition here. They have a Punisher, and it's a frozen Punisher moving down the bottom lane. No gate available, and there's a Bruiser camp going to be pushing in with that as well. Realistically, I think this could have game-ending potential for either team. I mean, if they end up wiping here, death times are fairly long. The stun comes out, and that's going to be the taunt as well, and Blaze drops. No tank. Hanzo going to get the Dragon Arrow out as well, and Giant RT is trying to get out of here. That will be the Hydralisk coming out, the Ultralisk coming out, trying to get that stun and maybe some extra damage. They burn it down, and this is a keep going down. Punisher at 65% with a camp as well. Deep going to be coming out. They get the burn, and Stukov goes down. Catpeach, I think they go for more.
Yeah, the Stagger Deaths are definitely not in favor of Ball Breaker. They're going to lose a 4th here. Tassadar about to respawn, but Alexis right now on the backside of the battlefield with only half health, and this is looking like game. The core is at 50% health. Vala is going to go down, and this match going over to Reborne with the clutch Punisher pickup at the end of that game, being able to push through the keep, secure the win.
Good game indeed. We go into that second Infernal Shrines game, and, well, Reborn looking extremely comfortable. Honestly, a little, I wouldn't say shaky at first in the early game, but it definitely seemed that Ball Breaker Reborn had some sort of counterplay into at least what they maybe saw beforehand. But as the game progressed, we really started to see a gap start to form. And that's typically what Reborn, well, that's what they do. They find these early game advantages and run with them. And they didn't have that initially, but once they hit those 10s, their team fight potential absolutely skyrocketed with Earthquake and Starfall as a combo. Then you have Armor the Undead for more damage and more sustain. You have a huge, there was like a Warlord's Challenge that I think got 4 or 5 at one point. That's really what shut down that fight that was going for so long in the Bruiser Camp area towards the end of the game. But overall, I got to say, between these two teams, it was such good play. It just came down to the point of the late game macro and even micro during some of these fights. That's really what won it out for Reborn, and they'll advance further through the bracket.